I'm really tired right now. A glossy version for the not surprise, what am I saying? Oh, there he is. Oh, now this guy's really something. Very, very lovely, I can't even speak anymore. Hello there everyone, Stormy Strike here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my thoughts about all the BreyerFest 2018 model horses. I'm actually not going to be editing this video too much, which is why I'm just going to be kind of showing you everything on the screen as I record it here, because I'm just really edited out right now with some of the videos I've been working on. Now for this video, remember that my opinions on these models are just my own opinions. I'm not trying to say that you should think the same way I do or anything like that. These are just my opinions. I don't expect other people's opinions to be the same or anything. I'm just sharing what I think about them. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that other people won't like it. Or just because I like something doesn't mean everyone's going to like it, and so on. So let's just get right into it now. First off, we of course have the Celebration model brass hat. He is the model that comes with the 3-day tickets, and here is the lovely picture of him. I think he looks very wonderful. I can't wait to see him in person. I know the first picture that we got of him, he didn't look quite as appealing. He looked almost like he was made of bronze or something, like how they did the paint job on him. It was really weird. But the actual model does look like he's going to be really pretty. I think he's a really nice simple bay model, and I like this mold, so I'm very excited about him. Next is the early bird raffle model, Riddle. Now there's only 3 of these models made. I think Riddle is very cute. I think he looks very nice in this well shaded gray and glossy and stuff. I don't really like him for myself, but I do think he is a pretty model. And then here are the other raffle models. We have Woodford, the Saturday raffle model. He is definitely my favorite of the 2. I think he is pretty cool. I will say I'm not like super head over heels for him for some reason though. I think some of their other raffle models in the past I've definitely loved a lot more. But I do think he's really pretty, and I like the fact that his mane and tail almost look a little bit like they have some shiny paint going on, even like his feathers on his legs. It looks like they used a little bit of like pearly looking kind of paint to give it a shimmer, which I think looks kind of cool. So I'm not like super crazy about him, but I think he is really pretty. This is the Sunday raffle model, whose name is Jackpot, and I like this guy too. I think he's really pretty, but he's definitely not my favorite for sure, because I just don't collect models that are in a jumping pose, really. The only exception is like stablemates and mini winnies I'm okay with, but for some reason when it comes to traditionals, I just don't care for collecting the jumping ones. The Bristol mold is really beautifully sculpted. I have seen Bristols in person, and they are very nicely done, but I'm just not personally a huge fan of collecting them for myself. Now for the contest prize, there is Win, Place, or Show, who is the photo finish model horse diorama contest prize model. Now this guy I really love. I like the boomerang mold from what I've seen of it so far. I think it's just really cute. I love this coloring. It's so rich. I love the dark, rich coloring this guy has so much, and the gloss just seems to make that pop even more. I would absolutely love to have this model, but unfortunately I might not be able to even enter the diorama contest this year because I just haven't had any time to actually make a diorama. So unfortunately it doesn't look like I'll be able to have any chance to win this guy, but I do really, really like him. Now for the BreyerFest store specials, there is Ichabod Crane, and I actually really like this guy. I might try and get one of him at BreyerFest. I do like the True North mold, and while he is just a simple bay, he looks like he is pretty nicely painted, and I do like the little details on his hooves with the little ermy spots and the striping on his hooves. That looks really cool. I'm gonna try and maybe pick up one of these guys. Next one is Old Ironsides, or Sugar. Now this is on the strapless mold, and I'm honestly really not crazy about this model at all. She is kind of pretty, but I don't feel like she is worth the $75 price tag that she'll probably be in the Breyer store. I do like flea-bitten gray Breyers. I think they're really cool. And I like the strapless mold okay, but I don't really avidly collect her. So she is just not really one for me. Now there are some special edition models. There is the special edition of Foiled Again, which he is the glossy version of the matte regular run one that came out. And he's kind of pretty, but not for me. I don't collect this mold at all. While I do love old molds, this particular one just doesn't draw my fancy at all. There's also Scamper, who is a special edition, and I believe the only reason he's really special edition is these little BreyerFest 2018 barrels. I do like these little barrels. I think that is really cute. I think it's kind of cool that they are stamped with the BreyerFest 2018. I think that's a fun little touch. I do like the Scamper mold, okay, but I probably won't get this guy because I just don't really avidly collect classics so much anymore. I kind of only collect them here or there on certain molds, but I'm really trying to kind of cut down on my classics. Then there's also the special edition of Lonesome Glory. Now, I do not have the original Lonesome Glory, so I actually might want to try and get this guy, depending on how much he is. If he's really highly priced, like $75, then I will probably not get him. But if he's in the more $40, $50 range, I might be interested in him, because I think the updated paint job on him would look really nice. Now for the special run models. So the first one here is Straight Bet on the Dundee, however you pronounce it, mold. I think I like this mold. I have seen it in person and I kind of like it. I don't know. I'm not really sold on it yet though. So I'm not sure if I want to get this guy or not yet. I think it is going to just depend how I see him in person. I think his coloring is pretty and he is kind of cool. But he is kind of one I feel like I might possibly like more in person, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to see. I do kind of like this really pretty rich shading that's going on. I am a sucker for models that have some really like dark, rich shading and coloring in them. Next one is Dead Heat. I wasn't too keen on Dead Heat when we first saw the picture of the chestnut one come out. I think it is pretty, but I'm just not really sold on the chestnut one for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'll like it better seeing it in person, but in the pictures that Breyer has shown, I'm just not really digging it for some reason. The coloring just doesn't really sit quite right for me. But I do really like the Palomino Dead Heat. I would love to get this one. The blue eyes are kind of cool, and I really love this. Looks like kind of pearly mane and tail. Looks kind of neat, and I just really like this Palomino coloring on this mold. So if I'm able to, I would love to get the Palomino version of Dead Heat. The third one is Julep and Pim. Now, I've heard some interesting things where people will like the mom, but not like the foal, or like the foal and not like the mom. I actually love both of them. I think they are both super, super cute. I love Greylu colored horses, and I think her markings are really cool. So I'm just absolutely in love with her. And then I'm also in love with her foal. I don't really know why a lot of people don't like the foal, but I think he is adorable, and I love his markings as well. They remind me of like really pretty Spanish Mustangs. These two are actually close to the top of my special run wish list. The fourth special run is the animal special run for this year, and that is Inair. I don't want to even try to pronounce that. But this is the elk for this year. I really like him. I'm kind of glad that Breyer took a break from doing cows. I do love cows, and I especially for some reason really love the longhorned bull. But I am glad that Breyer is doing a little bit of a break from that and doing some other animals. And I really like the coloring and patterns on this elk. I think he looks super cool, and I would really like to try and get him. Now the fifth special run is Sierra Rose, and I do really like the Pam mold. For some reason I like this model, but I'm not super head over heels for her. I don't really know why. I might like her better in person though, we'll see. She is like one I'm probably going to try to get if I can, but she is not my top priority of a special run I want to get. The sixth special run is the Dark Horse Surprise. Well, let's just not do that. Now, obviously we don't know what it is yet. Now, if it is what I'm guessing it is going to be, which is the Smarty Jones mold, then I will probably want to get a few of them, depending on their colors and patterns, of course. But I do like the Smarty Jones mold quite a bit, so I would like to have at least one or two of the Dark Horse Surprise if they are on that mold. If they happen to be on another mold like Idicus, I would enjoy that too, or Cigar, or what are some of the other ones we've talked about. My second place guess is the Show Jumping Warmblood, or the Cleveland Bay. I would like it if the Dark Horse Surprise was on that too. I don't know. You can see all my speculations about the Dark Horse Surprise. If you haven't watched that video yet, you can click on the card in the right hand corner. Now the 7th special run is the Decorator for this year, and that is Newmarket. I am honestly not a fan of this guy at all, really. I do like what Breyer was going for, though. I like the idea of making the Decorator related to racing silks. I think that is pretty cool. But he is just not for me. I'm not super in love with this whole color and design. I think it's cool, but it's just not something I would collect. And I also don't collect the flash mold. I have like a couple models on the flash mold, and I'm happy with just that. I really don't care for this mold for some reason. I don't really know why. I like it okay, but it's just not one I avidly collect, so I have no desire to get this model at all. Now the last special run is by a nose, and he is actually my top #1 special run I want to get this year. I really love his coloring and his patterns. It's just beautiful, and I do like the Lonesome Glory mold quite a bit. I really want this guy, and I love the striping in his mane and just the roan coloring with these really crazy markings. I just absolutely love this guy. Now for the single day stablemates. During BreyerFest 2015 and 2016, I did buy all the BreyerFest single day stablemates, but I'm not going to be doing that this year because they did raise the prices on the single day tickets, and I kind of don't want to spend the extra money on them this time around. And I'm just not really in love with any of these, I will admit. I do really like the idea they went for, though. I'm glad that they really stuck to the theme on having portrait stablemate models, and then Big Lex as the Kentucky bluegrass horse thing, I think is really cool. So I really like what they did, even though I don't plan to get any of them for myself. I'm also just trying to cut down a bit on my stablemate collection as well, so I'm trying not to really buy too many stablemates right now. The Ruffian one is definitely probably my favorite out of the 4 because, again, of that rich coloring and shading that I absolutely love. It just looks amazing, and she just looks really cute. So that's all for the BreyerFest exclusive models and raffle models and special runs and stuff. We will also talk about these other prize models, which are for the BreyerFest Best Custom Contest. I do think it's kind of interesting that Breyer broke their pattern of doing the Premier Club. They've been doing the Premier Club model of that year, but just in a different color for the contest prize model for the Best Custom Contest. And I would have thought they would have used Bristol this year, but instead they used Bobby Joe, which is kind of just strange that they broke that pattern to me. But she is a very lovely model for sure. But the other reserve prize model for the Best Custom Contest is called In the Running. Now this guy I honestly am really not impressed with at all. I think Breyer really dropped the ball on this one, I'm sorry to say. I know he is nice and cute. The thing is, he looks just so much like the Shiloh stablemate that came out for the Stablemate Club that it's just kind of odd. I also think it's odd that they did a model that's similar to a Stablemate Club model instead of a Premier Club model, because they've usually been doing the Premier Club stablemate models instead. I don't know, I just think this is kind of an odd choice. I don't really understand why. And I just feel like its color is so similar to Shiloh. I know this one's a little bit more red, and it is a bay instead of a chestnut or sorrel, but it still just seems very strange to me. Next, let's look at some of the Garland, what's it called? The Garland gift shop. Okay, it is called that, which is, here's the plush for this year, and this is Furlong. And I gotta be honest, guys, I am really disappointed about this one, because I actually really liked the plush that came out last year for the Gateway to India BreyerFest. It was that really pretty Lotus plush black horse. I really loved her, and I hope I can maybe find one secondhand at BreyerFest this year. So I was really excited for the plush this year, because sort of a tradition for me to get the BreyerFest plush for that year, since I did that in 2015 and 2016. So I'm a little sad that I don't actually like this plush for this year. I get where Breyer was going with it, and I know some people like it, which is great, but I just really don't personally like him. I don't really like the fact that he is a silky material instead of a nice soft fur-like material. His hair, I think, is just really crazy looking. And when I first saw this, I didn't actually think of horse racing. I thought of sports teams. That's what this reminds me of, is sports teams or regular sports that aren't horse related. So that's another reason why I'm just really not fond of this guy at all. And I'm sad about that, because I wanted to buy the plush this year, but I do not like him enough to buy him. The classic for the Garland gift shop this year is Born to Run, and she is a colorful clearware classic, kind of like what they've been doing these past couple of years. I don't really collect the clearware Breyers at all. I'm just not really a fan of them. These models are really neat to look at though, and I think they're really pretty, but I just don't collect them at all. Next is the Garland gift shop stablemate, which I think is really cool that Breyer made a stablemate version of one of their ornaments so that it is a racing one. They are just totally going all out with the racing theme this year. Now I will admit I like this stablemate, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm sold on actually getting one yet or not. I think I'm going to have to see it in person to see whether or not I want to buy one, but I do think it is really cool. Oh my goodness, and there's even more prize models that I totally forgot about until just now scrolling through the Breyer blog. Here is the champion for the Breyer Grand Champion Open Show thing. Wow, I cannot think clearly right now. But there's this guy. This is Cloverleaf, and he is a pretty sorrely chestnut horse on the Geronimo mold. I do like the Geronimo mold quite a bit. I'm not like super crazy in love with this guy though. I think he's just pretty simple for a overall prize winning horse. I don't know, I just thought that's like a little underwhelming to me for him to be the special model that you get for getting a grand champion in the BreyerFest Open Show, which is such a hard thing to do. So I just think it's a little underwhelming to me. But I do really like him though. I think it would be really cool if Breyer did a regular run someday, kind of similar to this. And then the reserve champion is usually on an older mold, so this year it is on the standardbred mold. And this guy's name is Hot to Trot. I do really like his coloring and patterns. I think it is really lovely. I just don't really care for this mold, so I'm not like crazy about him or anything. But I do think he is lovely, and for those that like this mold, I think this is a pretty cool model. Now let's go back to the Garland gift shop to see the Crystal Horse. Now this is Home Straight, and he is the Crystal Horse for this year. And he is actually based after a resin I believe Breyer did in the past. So it's really cool that they used a different mold. But again, I do not collect these horses. I do not collect Breyer Crystal Horses at all. They are super pretty though, I can tell you that. I've had one before in person and they are really pretty, but I just really do not want one because I know I will end up breaking it. Now before I get into the auction models, which we will look at in a minute, I want to show the very recent model they released for also the Garland gift shop, which I am really excited about. This is hopefully a new trend Breyer might start doing for all the different BreyerFest years from now on. I'm guessing if it goes well, they might continue this. I don't know if they actually will or not, but that would be cool if they did. And he is an Off to the Races autograph horse. And I'm sorry they released such a small picture of him right now, but it is on the Adios mold, and I love the Adios mold, so I'm definitely going to buy this guy. And it's also really cool that Breyer made him the cheap price of only $25, which is really amazing that they did that and are encouraging people to get him and use him as an autograph horse. I may actually buy this guy and use him as an autograph horse. I have never done a BreyerFest autograph horse before, but if I do that, I'm also probably going to buy another one of him to use as a model for my collection because I just think he is super cool looking, and again, I like the Adios mold a lot. Alright, now we're going to get back to some auction horses. Let's first, before we get into the live auction models, let's first look at the silent auction models. There's only like 2 of them on here pictured, but we'll look at that anyway. So one is Golden Torch. Is that his name? Yes, that is his name, Golden Torch. So he is a one-of-a-kind Breyer model that was donated to the silent auction by Breyer. And then he also has the addition of some donated awesome custom-made tack for him. I think he looks like a lovely painted model, and I really love the tack on this guy. I'm sure he's going to sell for a pretty penny because he is just a very, very lovely looking model. Also for the silent auction, they haven't shown pictures of these things yet, but they will be doing a full set of the Dark Horse Surprise models, and also a Dark Horse Surprise test decorator, which I think is really interesting. I kind of had a thing on Instagram about this as well. So what I'm wondering if that means There is a Decorator as one of the variations of the Dark Horse Surprise, and then this test Decorator is just like a different color or a different pattern or something for it. Or if it means that they were thinking about doing a Decorator as one of the variations for the Surprise Horse, and then decided not to, and have regular 4-horse regular colors, and then this test Decorator is the Decorator they were thinking about putting in, but didn't. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. This video's getting out of hand very quickly now. Let's go down and talk about what else is here. Models of Zenyatta and her first colt, donated by Breyer. I'm a little confused by this. I was having a discussion about this before on Instagram. A little confused on why Breyer's doing this. I don't know if these models are anything special, if they are test models, or if they're just regular run Breyers. And if they are, then why on earth did Breyer donate these? Now my guess is there's probably maybe something else going along with this. Maybe there's some sort of gift basket from the owners of either Zenyatta or the Colt or whatever that are giving away some like extras with these models maybe. Because it is kind of weird if these are just the regular run Breyers and not something special in the way of having a gift basket with them or their test runs or something. It's a little odd. I don't really know. I guess we'll find out at BreyerFest though. Alright, now let's get into the silent auction models. I'm sorry, the live auction models. I'm really losing my mind today. First off is Lot... Okay, I'm doing it out of order, I guess. Whatever. So this is Lot 9, and he is on the old 1954 racehorse mold. And I really love this guy, actually. I think he is really cool because I love charcoal models, and he is a pretty glossy charcoal. So that's my thoughts for him. I know a lot of people really hate him, but I love charcoal models. I think they're just so pretty, so I really like this guy. Lot 8 is a really loud and beautiful Appaloosa here on the Duende mold. And I actually have there's another picture of him as well. There's actually another picture of quite a few of these guys on here. So let's, what am I doing? Where am I going on here? Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. We're going to look at some of the other pictures too, because some of these models do have 2 pictures of them. So there's this guy. This guy is really quite something. I really like the colors and patterns on this guy. As I said, I'm not really sure how I feel about this mold yet, but this coloring and pattern is amazing, and I really hope Breyer does this again on another model, because it is just really gorgeous in my opinion. The detail with all these little bitty black spots everywhere is just insane, and I love it. I also love this really pretty shaded mane, this white mane with this really lovely gray shading in it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now lot number 7 is this Dappled gray on the Furlong mold. A lovely old mold repaint. I do enjoy some old mold repaints. But I'm not like crazy about this guy because I don't collect this mold, but I do think his paint job is very nicely done. Here is, what lot is this? I can't even tell. I guess this is lot 6. So lot 6 is another old mold repaint on whatever this mold is called. I'm really tired right now. Ah, yes, this is the Secretariat Mode. And I do like this coloring and pattern on this guy. It looks very lovely. Actually, this shot of him isn't quite as flattering as this shot is. This picture looks way better. He looks very nice, and this looks actually just really good. I actually think this paint job really does this mold a lot of justice here. It's making me want to collect models in this mold, even though I don't really collect models in this mold. I have like 2 of them, but that's like good enough for me. I'm just rambling on again. Point is, I like this guy. I like his colors and his patterns, and yeah, he's a lovely dude. Oh man, I forgot some more live show prize models. Wow, I'm really losing it tonight. So this is Glossy Hewin and Glossy Brunello, and they are the open show reserve and champion, and I believe Brunello is the champion, and Hewin, however you pronounce that, is the reserve. They're lovely. Breyer does this for their past few years now. They've been doing that, having a regular run, a glossy version for the for the open show model thing. Anyway, this is nice. I'm actually really sad because I conga this mold, and now I do not have a complete conga anymore with this girl coming out because I will never probably be able to afford her or anything, so there goes my goal to be a conga completist for the Forever Siege mold, but you know, oh well, I will have a obtainable conga then. Let's go back to live auction models. Now this guy right here, let's see the other picture of him here too. Oh, there he is. Oh, now this guy's really something. I'm not always a fan of decorators. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It just depends on what they are, and with this guy, I absolutely love him. He is really cool because he is like a Greek or Roman. I really have a hard time remembering the difference between Greek or Roman, but this guy I think is more of a Greek style decorator, and I absolutely love him with like the chariot race going on. That looks really cool. This guy is just amazing. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. I just absolutely love this guy. I don't know what else to say. He is probably one of my absolute favorite auction models that Breyer has done so far for this year. Next up here is whatever lot number this is. I'm just gonna stop trying to even know what I'm talking about with the lot numbers. This guy is a really pretty Vallegro, and I really like this. I love, love, love splash paints, and this guy is just really pretty. I love his coloring. It's just fantastic. I guess he's like a dun. He must be a dun. Is he a dun? I think it told me what color he was, and I just didn't pay attention. Yes, it is a red dun. So he is got a really pretty red dun color, beautiful mapping, beautiful white markings, he's got some pretty blue eyes. I just love everything about this model. He looks fantastic. And then whatever lot this is lot 13, I guess. This model is a cigar model, who I'm not super crazy about just because Breyer has done so many Bay cigars it feels like. But he is a lovely model, a beautiful gloss, got some beautiful coloring and dapples going on. And I like the addition of the new tail on him, which looks like a show-jumping warmblood tail or something like that, which I think looks really cool. Next up is the one we've already seen. This is, what is his name? Hot to Trot or whatever. That guy for the reserve champion Breyer things, so we don't really need to go over him again. Oh, now this guy's lovely. This is another one of my absolute favorites for the I keep saying silent auction. I mean live auction. For the live auction this year, this guy, oh my gosh, he is so gorgeous. He makes my heart melt. This is a beautiful ash choir in a black Ribicano. I hope I pronounced that right. Anyway, he looks beautiful. He reminds me of the paint job a little bit that they did on Polaris, which I love that model. So I just love this. I love the coloring and markings they did. It's just fantastic, and I really like this mold too. So I'm absolutely in love with this guy. If I had just millions and millions of dollars, I would probably try to win this guy, but I do not, so I cannot, but I do really, really like him. Next here is lot number 18, and this is a Longhorn Bull. And I really love Longhorn Bulls, so I already like this guy. I will say I'm not super crazy about the pattern on him for some reason though, but I do think he is really cool nonetheless, and I like the kind of striping, like brindle patterns. Is he brindle? He must be a brindle. That's like going on his neck and stuff. I think that looks really cool. So he is really pretty. Lot number 17 is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm saying the names wrong. Lot number 17 was the Texas Longhorn Bull. Oh man, I don't even know what I'm saying, guys. Just please don't even listen to me, honestly. I am losing my mind right now with BreyerFest coming up so close. But this is lot whatever, and this is a Wixom, and she has the Shenandoah, I believe that's, yes, Shenandoah tail added to her, which is lovely. I would hope that Breyer makes some maybe regular runs or special runs in the future with the Wixom with this mold tail, because it is quite wonderful. Her coloring is very rich and lovely. Overall, this model is just very nice, I think. Very, very lovely, I can't even speak anymore. A very lovely model. And then the last one, because this is all that the Breyer models that have been released so far since when I am recording this video. But the last one here is the really pretty minimal Appaloosa that is done on the True North mold. I really like this guy. He is lovely and instantly reminded me and several other people of Indu, which I think is kind of cool because Indu is such a cool horse and his coloring is really cool. So it's kind of cool that they did a horse that is not exactly Indu, of course, but a little similar to him in coloring. He is another one of my favorites, I think, for the live auction models. And there you have it, guys. That's my whole spiel. Oh wait, I was almost going to end this video, and then I remembered there are a couple models I forgot here. So also for the live auction models, there's this horse with some lovely patterns. This is the Hala mold, I believe. Hala or Bola. Yeah, it's two very similar molds. I forget what the difference is between them, but you know, whatever. I'm losing my mind. And this is a lovely glossy Appaloosa. Just very lovely model overall. I do like this girl. I don't collect this mold or anything really, but she's very lovely. I like what they did with this. Here is a dappled gray Shire on the not Shire. This is technically the Clydesdale mold, but he is a beautiful dappled gray. I love these dapples that Breyer did. They just did these little airbrush dapples, kind of like what they have done before on that one model that I can't think the name of right now, but we'll just forget I even said that. So he is a really nicely painted dappled gray. It looks wonderful. And then lastly here is a Wyatt. I really like the color and patterns they did on this Wyatt. I feel like it really suits the mold. He is a lovely pinto chestnut, just really gorgeous looking Overo pinto chestnut. Really fits the mold well. Alright, now I went through all the models. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss any this time. Now, there may be some I missed because Breyer released them after my doing of recording this video, but you get the point. I am very slowly descending into madness because BreyerFest is so close, and I don't have nearly enough done and ready for it, so I'm kind of freaking out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, despite possibly how weird and random it is, depending on how I edit it down. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone!